Hey everyone, it's HBCU Game Day Saturday and Alabama A&M University hosting Jackson State today. It is the game that everyone is talking about. They are getting ready to finish off a huge weekend. It's homecoming weekend at Alabama A&M. Jackson State is in town. What else do you really need to know? What else do we really need to talk about? Well, let's talk about something anyway. We're going to go back to Monday. Ooh, had a little smoke in the air. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but you take a listen. Coach Manor, he wants to know, can he get a scooter?
Hey, Coach Sanders, I hurt my ankle getting off the bus the other day. You got an extra scooter for me? If you got an extra scooter, send me one down here.
It's a little rivalry. It's a little blood in between. The coach says something about me. I don't shoot back because I don't do that because I'm really good at that. And I don't choose to do that. You know, I'm on this high road right now. That's what I'm doing. I take it the high road, right? I'm a different dude. So I don't do that. But, everybody's waiting for me to do that. And, at the conclusion of this matter, we're just going to have to sit and see.
Okay, I won't go as far to call it Scootergate. Just a little personality by Coach Manor. Now, if anybody was offended, come on, guys. It's a little hype. It's a big game. It's a little hype. All right. I had a chance to talk to my man Neely from the pregame show, and he was all right with it as well.
I think it's good for the SWAC. I think it's good for the conference. This is not, some personal beefs where people are going at each other with personal attacks. This is some nice energy for the fan base, some nice red meat, get people excited. The old school used to call it bulletin board material. But one thing about the Jackson State Tigers, they don't need any exterior or outside motivation to get up for this game. So you don't see the players talking about it. Coach Prime has pretty much dismissed it and said the scoreboard is going to speak for itself. We'll do our talking after the game and let the play do the talking for us during the game. So he's not biting the hook. But, Coach Manor is a personality, man. And folks, their eyebrows go up at it and their antennas go up at it. But you see this kind of thing in the SEC. Jimbo Fisher doesn't mince his words. Lane Kiffin doesn't hold back. Coach O doesn't hold back in LSU. So that kind of thing, I think, is good for the HBCU and SWAC environment as far as the energy building up to a game. But we're going to see who gets the last laugh on that scoreboard. And Coach Prime, that's what he's focused on, man. Not responding in pregame press conferences, but responding when that clock hits zeros.
All right, let's get to the football. Let's take a look at these two teams. The vaunted defense versus the potent offense. Jackson State giving up just 12.75 points per game. Opponents averaging 104.8 yards rushing per game and 141.5 yards passing. The Tigers have only given up 4 touchdowns in 4 games. 2 of their opponents didn't score any touchdowns at all. Alabama A&M scoring 36.25 points per game, just over 111 yards rushing, and just over 380 passing. Now, the Bulldogs have scored 19 touchdowns so far this season. A&M, on the other hand, giving up 35 points per game. In Jackson State, the rushing game, still some work to be done there, only averaging 51 yards rushing per game, something that still gets under the skin of Deion Sanders.
I feel like we're horrible. We can't run the football right now, and we're trying to figure out that problem so we could enhance that. We're not doing well running the ball. That's the attitude. That's the attitude with the front line, and we've been on their butts about that particular attitude. Hopefully we addressed it in the bye week. We're addressing it this week at practice, and we hope to do much better than we've shown thus far.
Okay, the other big game on the schedule in the SWAC, at least from my opinion, it's Grambling, traveling to Alcorn State. Grambling with the new quarterback that they are feeling good about in Noah Biden.
We've been very, very frustrated in the last three years or so because, we haven't done a really good job of getting that guy. And we all know that this thing begins and ends with the quarterback position. Of course, you got to play really good defense, and you got to have and you got to be great in the kicking game as well. But if you look at football on any level, he who has the best quarterback has the best chance to win the conference. And that's just the way it goes. We feel we have a young man that can be that guy, but it's going to take a lot of work, of course, in order to get there. But we feel that we have the necessary pieces in place in order to make that run. So we have to continue to work. We have to continue to develop. We're going to get behind this young man and give him the tools that he needs in order to be successful. and hopefully we can be consistent, from here on out.
He got a live arm. He got a live arm, and he throw the ball well. We just got to prepare to put some people in his face to get him to move around a little bit for what we need to do in terms of him. Throw the ball hard. I mean, he got a good arm. Just got to prepare to rally him a little bit and make sure he's not comfortable back there in that pocket to make those throws to those great wide receivers and Greg White, great wide receiver, makes a lot of catches. Kobe Ross, great wide receiver, he can make a lot of plays. Right now, we just got to make sure we put somebody in his face to kind of slow him down a little bit for his passing and what he do.
All right, here's a look at the rest of the SWAC schedule. Pine Bluff at Alabama State. Mississippi Valley State looking to go back-to-back on the road at winless Bethune-Cookman. Homecoming there. Southern and Texas Southern, they are in Arlington, Texas, and South Carolina State says, not so fast, FAMU. We still need you on that schedule, partner. And Buddy Pugh, how about this? He has yet to lose as a head coach in a game played in Tallahassee against the Rattlers.
And try to get these guys ready to play a tough South Carolina State team, a team that is going to be right in the thick of the MEAC race. So again, we're arguably playing the MEAC champs this weekend, and so that adds a little spice to it as well. And the fact that, like you said, Coach Pugh has not lost here at Bradford Memorial Stadium, and I know Coach, a ton of respect for him, and I know he's on his last, kind of last quarter of his head coaching career, and I want to put a little notch on his belt to make sure that he doesn't leave saying that he never lost to Bradford Memorial Stadium.
There for a while, the last time we played them, the first half in particular, they basically shut our offense down. So I can tell you that, we've had our troubles with Willie Simmons' teams here the last, couple of times we played them. And it's really, really, a tough football game for us. So we got our work cut out for us.
So South Carolina State not quite ready to let go of their former Florida brethren from the MEAC. Last week it was Bethune-Cookman, and our Wally Pitt was there. Let's get it.
Back in Orangeburg, South Carolina, where the MEAC and the SWAC were out here fighting like cats and dogs as Bethune-Cookman pulled up to the home of the South Carolina State Bulldogs. And while neither team had a dub coming into Saturday, both squads showed that they not no pushovers, and the Wildcats came into this one ready to put one in the win column.
Hey, I'm getting tired of losing. So that's where my frustration come in at. And I feel if I'm around people who losing, that's gonna bother me. Family on one. One family. Let's go.
Now South Carolina State had a gang of recruits on camp, and there's some big pause on these pups as we chopped it up about why they were interested in playing HBCU football.
Now what's y'all favorite part of HBCU football, period?
Man, Gameday homecoming.
It's the homecoming.
It's the female dancers, man. We all know
And what y'all looking forward to the most about possibly playing HBCU football?
Just the environment.
The environment.
Make it out.
Just to
make a new path. Like everybody want to go to a Power 5 school, we cut HBCU and do the same thing.
And we still gonna make it out. Just to make it to the NFL. We've been saying, been overlooked so many times. Or have somewhere to go in life.
And when you hear that cork pop, just know you about to get blessed with some champagne. The dancers, that is. And the marching Wildcats came in deep, and I think they played neck straight through the whole first quarter. South Carolina State plugged in early. Corey Fields, Wolverine, 41 yards, sets up Kendrell Flowers for the grown man stretching 4-yard touchdown. But on the ensuing kickoff, Darnell Dees takes his ball back to the crib like Ricky and Boys to the Hood. .94 yards, untouched, and it's a 7-7 ball game. Then it's another balanced Bulldog attack. A nice catch from Shaq Davis leads to another short Kendrell Flowers touchdown. South Carolina State was out there airing that thing out like it had a little funk to it. Both Shaq Davis and Wolverine go for over a hundo, while Corey Davis throws for over 300 yards and this 38-yard touchdown to the aforementioned Vereen and his 21-7 Bulldogs in the second quarter. But they really not even done though. Rakeem White gets in on the Bulldog game of fetch with a 27-yard grab that leads to Dante Anthony, who Houdinis his way through the trenches for an 11-yard score before the half, 28-7 South Carolina State. And Lil Bro wasn't out of pocket talking about the HBCU dancers earlier. The game is great, but it's all about the queens. To the 24-karat and champagne dancers, we are not worthy. SC State back to the blueprint in the second half. Richard Bailey lays out for a tough grab. Shaq Davis, another big game. And Ja'Cory Benson makes himself the third South Carolina State back with a touchdown, and it's 35-7 in the third. Now let's make it 45-7 after Dante Anthony cuts them boys up like he was making a collage. And going into the fourth quarter, it felt like a wrap on a good old-fashioned mollywop in Orangeburg, but that's when the Wildcats came alive. Kamari Everett looking like Megatron with the big grab in the end zone for 28 yards, and the Wildcats cut the lead down to 45-14. South Carolina State may be doing a little bit too much in the red zone. They try a trick play, and somebody needed to tell Big Fella that that's a live ball. Amari Hill Robinson gets the scoop and score, 88 yards, and the Wildcats clawing away at the lead 42-21 with 9 minutes left to play. Then the Wildcats get the onside kick. They drive the ball down to the one where Quayshawn Bird, watch me, Superman dives in for 6, 45-28, 7 minutes left to play, and we done got ourselves a daggum ball game. BCU gets the ball back with just under 4 minutes left to play. Kamari Everett, another big grab, gets Bethune-Cookman down to the 1. Devin Black, the 1-yard punch, and it's a one-score game with 45 seconds left to play. But the Wildcat comeback falls short as the Bulldogs get the onside kick and the 42-35 win in their 2021 home opener.
I'm talking about. PAT was flawless. All I want y'all to do now is get in the training room, get your treatment, get ready to do it next week. Because they going to watch the film and say, oh, snap, them boys ready to rock and roll, okay? Hell of a game, man. Hell of a game. Go enjoy yourself. Go enjoy yourself. Remember, everything tastes better, everything feels better after a dub, okay? O-line on 3, O-line on 3. 1, 2, 3, O-line.
All right, the CIAA schedule is crazy today. We basically have what could be championship elimination games in both the North and the South. Fayetteville State at Shaw in the South. Winston-Salem State at Johnson C. Smith. One local writer called that an extreme pillow fight. Gosh. Lincoln, PA at Virginia Union. In the North, we got Bowie State at Chowan. That's the big one. Over on that side, St. Aug at Livingstone, Elizabeth City State. Are the Vikings for real? They're at Virginia State. They'll get a chance to prove it today once again. All right, so the winner of Fayetteville State and Shaw in the driver's seat in the CIAA Southern Division. Both teams are 2-0 in the conference, and the rest of the division sitting at 0-2. Now, in the North, we told you about Bowie State and Chowan. Both of those guys 2-0 in the conference as well. So is Elizabeth City. But Chowan, Bowie State, they have to be the favorites. And today will create a little bit of separation, right? It's going to be an impactful Saturday. A lot of my folks down south might not be as familiar with Bowie State, and maybe you've not paid a whole lot of attention to Chowan, but you cannot ignore Chowan anymore. They are not going to let you do it. They are averaging a blistering 51.4 points per game. They got a lot of them against the Rams last week. 164 yards rushing per game. Man, their quarterback is Bryce Witt. He's a monster. 6'4", 235 pounds. His neck is like a fire hydrant. He has a quarterback rating of 182. Jerome Johnson on the other side, he's been there for a while. He's got the experience at Bowie State. He's already thrown for 1,000 yards this season. He has 13 touchdowns. He has a quarterback rating of 160. And that Bowie State defense is giving up just a tick over 14 points per game. So if you're good, you can get 2 touchdowns against them. Chowan is good. It should be a good game. Last night, it was Howard and Morgan State. Morgan State wasn't good. Howard was. 27-0. Way to go last night in D.C. for Howard. Now, last weekend, the game of the week. Whew, the Battle of the Bay. Norfolk State and Hampton. We were there, and it was all of that.
Hey, I just got here. I don't know what to expect. And I heard Hampton got a running back that's off the chain. Look, they up 10-0. Can Norfolk make something happen? The bands are jumping. Hey, over here, Hampton said they band got something to Chris ain't. Battle of the Bay, first time I saw since 2017.
Number 8.
They said Norfolk State got a quarterback, Pooty. I want to see Pooty do his thing. So that Pooty thing. So don't worry about it. Yeah! And they real quiet over here. D-hole! Let's go!
He the best in the world, number 8, Pooty Carter.
I ain't gotta say too much. Big time player make big time plays.
You a dog, anymore, you a dog.
Hey, that's what we do.
Number 8, how good to get on that field, man?
I mean, we came and did what we had to do. You know what I mean? We fight through adversity. We was down at halftime. We just had to bounce back and execute. It ain't nothing to it. Play football. Hey, all wins are good, my man. All wins are good. But you know, B-Dot is always in tune with HBCU game day, baby. We out here. Okay, bye.
So Coach Dawson Odoms, he's familiar with the MEAC. He played his ball at North Carolina Central. He's a native of North Carolina, but he made his bones in the SWAC as the head coach of Southern University. But now back at Norfolk State, he's feeling his squad, and he has them going places that just a year ago, there seemed to be a little barrier, and now it seems like the Spartans are breaking through.
You're hearing things and you're hearing dialogues amongst the players that you didn't hear when we first got here. And you can see that this football team is changing. And this football team is a scary football team because we still got some pieces missing that we're starting to get back. And we're starting to get healthy. Got a bye week, and we got homecoming coming up. And we getting ready for the conference play. But I think this is one of those football teams, everybody on the calendar or on radar is saying, who are those Spartans? But we're getting better, and we're getting confident. And those two ingredients go together.
All right, it's a short schedule in the MEAC today. Not a whole lot going on. South Carolina State and FAMU, we've already talked about that one. Delaware State is hosting Virginia University of Lynchburg, and North Carolina Central hosting Tennessee Tech. And again, last night, Howard shuts out Morgan State. Big game in the Big South. It's my upset special of the day. Not saying it will happen, but if it does, my man, this is going to be big. Hampton hosting Kennesaw State today. Kennesaw, one of the top teams in FCS football, ranked number 17 right now, if I'm not mistaken. So Hampton, if they pull it off, it'll be good. North Carolina A&T at home looking to go 2-0 in the Big South, taking on North Alabama. Coach Sam Washington says it is the very best 0-5 team he has ever seen.
Offensively, I just don't get it. They have led in, I think, 4 to 5 games going into the fourth quarter. And some kind of way, the other teams have found a way, to win the ball game. But they're a very scary football team. Because they can do pretty much everything. The quarterback can throw the ball, they run the ball well. Defensively, they fly around and they hit you. So it's going to be a very exciting ball game.
All right, next week the Aggies are in Atlanta. They're going to take on Kennesaw State. So it might be an Aggie invasion in the ATL. We'll have to check it out and see. Hopefully not a trap game today for Kennesaw or A&T, and we can just have these two undefeated Big South teams. Not that I'm pulling against Hampton. Maybe that didn't sound so right. Okay. Good game this weekend, good game next weekend. How about that? All right, we'll take a look at the SIAC. The schedule for today shapes up like this. Edward Waters at Albany State, Allen at Clark Atlanta, Central State at Fort Valley State, Lane makes the trip to Kentucky State, and Benedict at Miles. Erskine at Savannah State. Now, that's one heck of a logo. Look at that thing, man. It's madder than the Mad Hatter. I kind of like it. And maybe you've heard of this one before, the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic. New time, new city, under the lights in Birmingham. Your standings in the SIAC. Savannah State and Albany State, looking forward to that one, but let's not get ahead of ourselves because the old guard still hanging in the cut, Fort Valley State. They might have a few things to say about a few things before it's over with. Allen, not eligible for a championship this year, but those guys, and Edward Waters as well, making things pretty interesting. All right, let's cross that time zone and head out to Alabama and all points west and north, I guess, as well. Miles on top now, but Lane with the best overall record so far in the division. Kentucky State and Tuskegee have not yet begun to fight. And some pretty good action from last weekend. Hopefully we can duplicate it. Let's get back in our time machine and check out what happened in week 5 in the SIAC. Miles hosting Albany State on Saturday night, a potential SIAC championship preview. It could happen. Golden Bears moving the ball nicely on the opening possession. Drive ends in a field goal. Tip drill time. Deontay Beno picked off with this hot potato of a ball. Mitchell Smiley returns it 13 yards. Smiley, the preseason defensive player of the year. playing a little safety and linebacker this year. But no, not bothered. A flick of the wrist here, and then a sprint for the first down. Then an 18-yarder back of the end zone. Joe Shorter comes down with it. It's a 7-3 game early second quarter. INT by Malachi Brown gives Albany a short field to work with. That would later lead to a TD. Marquise Fulks bounces it in for a 14-3 game at the half. Second half, Golden Rams out there laying the wood at the trap. Javon Wooten takes a 29-yard punt and returns it 31 yards inside the red zone. 4 consecutive handoffs later to Marquise Fulks, and like Prego sauce, it's in there. Yeah, another old man reference. 21-3 Miles. Cam Ward, watch him work. 45 yards down to the 3-yard line. Then Ward finishing it off. Touchdown. Albany State. Offense stout, defense stout, running game on point. Victory goes to the visiting Golden Rams, 31-3. Clark Atlanta at Tuskegee. Things looking good for CAU early. Bryson Williams picked off by Zykia Pruitt. He returns it 28 yards. The sideline goes crazy, but the Tuskegee defense holds. Golden Tigers get on the board when Latrevian O'Neal on the receiving end of this Bryson Williams touchdown. 21-yard score, 7-zip Tuskegee. Third quarter, Clark Atlanta would love to have this one back. Kobe Mitchell, one of 3 Tuskegee defenders around the ball, and the interception train is on and rolling. Elijah Odom threw the pick, tries to make the tackles. Don't do that. Quarterbacks, don't try to make tackles. Your team needs you. The Clark Atlanta defense trying to keep the Panthers in it. The fumble recovery here, but the Tuskegee defense answers. Isaac Smith goes sky high for the interception. Early fourth quarter, Bryson Williams. Should I stay or should I go now? He goes 31 yards. Tuskegee wins it 21-0. Let's quickly go to Atlanta. Last Saturday, Edward Waters with the big win over Morehouse, 37-13. Our Simone Stanley was on the sidelines.
It's an honor being here as a freshman and just being able to show what I can do and provide for my team and just doing the best I can do.
Doing the best you can do, and I think you're doing great. You got 2 touchdowns here today. You did get injured. How's that leg feeling?
It feels good. I'm going to be back for next game.
You're going to be back for next game. Next game is Albany. You guys were offensively explosive here today. How are you guys going to be able to keep that momentum going next week against Albany?
We just go back to the drawing board and heal up, rest up, and keep it going from there.
Albany State making that magic last weekend, and it shows, sweeping the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Cameron Ward and Stefan Pierre with the honors there. For ASU, Ryan Duff from Tuskegee, he is your Special Teams Player of the Week, and Brendan Jackson from Savannah State is your Newcomer of the Week. And that's your trip around Black college football this weekend. Looking forward to a lot of early games today. We're going to get it in, get it out, get back home, and talk about it right here at HBCUGameday.com. So make sure you hang out with us later this afternoon, evening. We'll bring you all the scores. We're going to have videos, highlights, recaps, analysis, the whole 9. But right now, the universe is looking down on Alabama A&M and Jackson State. It's our game of the day. Hopefully it will not disappoint. Either way, we'll talk about it at HBCU Game Day. Thanks for hanging out with us for another HBCU Game Day Saturday. I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta. We'll talk to you later.
Y'all, it's game day. When the band is what you hear and everybody here is cheering, all your worries disappearing, y'all.